Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. Yep. Fred, I got to see something very special yesterday. Came by the office. Mm-hmm. Got to see you audition for the marching band. Which is a segment which will be on our show coming out on Thursday. Next week. Yeah. So how'd that go?
It went well. I think I'm going to make the band. You know what I'm saying? It's a chance that...
Did you hear about it? This is the first you heard about it, huh?
Hold on. What is going on, man?
I tried out for the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders band.
Oh, shit.
You know, which we have two teams in the NFL that still got bands, us in Baltimore. And I tried out for the cymbal player yesterday.
Yeah, the only instrument you probably can play.
I
thought you'd at least been a drum major.
No, I'm just saying. I wanted to be a drum major, but they ain't had one. I would have hit them with that HBCU right there. But we ain't had it, so I tried out for the cymbals yesterday, and I think I made the band.
The cymbals? Is that what they're called?
Ain't they called the cymbals?
It's a cymbal.
Yeah, I got to hit them. I
thought you tried out for the triangle. Right?
You know, I played the hell out of triangle now.
They're actually pretty hard to do, though.
No, seriously. They hard to hold.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people understand it. Like, when you see them doing all this, they are heavy.
Mm-hmm. They're just awkward. And there's not like I thought there'd be like a little handle on the back.
knob or something on it.
Oh, it's not?
But it's just, it's a little like a leather strap.
It's like a leather strap. That's it.
Oh, like your leather strap,
so you're basically sticking your hand in the strap and then you're holding it on the outside.
And that's it.
That's exactly right. And so Fred did a pretty good job, and then the woman who does it for the band
showed us out.
Come out and just, whatever she did.
Well, to your credit, you didn't get that much practice time probably, right?
No, they call you right in. We're going to film today.
Yeah, and knowing you told them that you did it once before.
And then they didn't tell us what instrument.
Oh. And then Fred, I came to watch Fred because it's like a part of the bit, you know? Yeah. And then I got in there and Fred's like, you do it. And I was like, I don't even know how to hold this.
But he did it.
I did it.
He tried it.
I tried it.
And it's hard, man.
I feel like I messed it up because she was like just banging them together. And I feel like I was just banging, like my hands were numb afterwards.
I think we were using too much power.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't work.
When she did it, she was like kind of keeping it nice and tight.
First of all, she turned it this way and started to go back and forward, crossed it. We knew nothing.
Yeah, I feel like she could have helped us out there a little bit.
So it's safe to say that the one instrument that we've seen for years in the band that we thought was
the easy one.
It might be the hardest one.
It might be the hardest one. I could probably play that old dirty school flute better than I could play them cymbals right there.
We should try to get that going. See
that old dirty school flute. Like, people don't understand.
Do you play an instrument? Okay, I want a serious answer. Have you played an instrument before?
I told you.
You already started the lie.
I told you, all us played the dirty school flute in elementary.
The recorder.
The recorder.
The recorder, yeah.
I played the recorder, and I told you I used to play the triangle.
Like non-ironically, like seriously, you played.
Well, you know, his dad was a preacher, so I'm pretty sure he was in there. I'm pretty sure he was in there doing his due.
I played the triangle. And
you can't keep a straight face,
No, I'm being honest.
I believe you, yeah.
Triangle, dirty flute, and
cymbals now.
What else did I guess you want to add the cymbals to it. But also I play a mean cowbell.
When did you have
I'm from Mississippi State. That's our thing is the cowbell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying?
Are you just ringing it or you don't, there's like no.
No, see, you go to different. To ring a cowbell is to actually get the attention of the cows and run them a certain direction. That's what a cowbell is for.
Okay. I thought the cowbell was to know, so you knew where the cows were.
No, the cowbell is for me to move the herd.
Ask me.
You don't know?
No, it's for you to move the herd.
I'm listening.
Now, if I play the cowbell as an instrument, like this is for me to use it on cows. Now, if I turn it the opposite way and pull out the stick and start to play it like this, now I'm playing the cowbell as an instrument. More like cowbells.
All I can think about. Have you seen that SNL skit with
Will Ferrell?
With Will Ferrell. I
gotta check it out.
So
it's stupid. More cowbell. What about you? Any instrument?
No, I never played an instrument.
Period.
Okay, Jason, what's up, man? You got something? We just a little commentary on what's happening right now.
Hey, I feel so much hate.
No hate. We're just
a cowbell is worn around the neck of livestock, so herders can keep track of the animal via sound.
You was right.
What about the cowbell stick? The cowbell stick is to move the cow. Country people out there that listen to our podcast,
listen,
call in because they do stuff so technical. Like when you put the cowbell on the cow,
so what is the name of the thing that he's trying to describe? I just
my
feel like he missed the name. I feel like he's misinterpreting what it's called. You see
No. This is what happened.
I mean, I just Googled cowbell.
Yeah, so because I'm pretty sure it's two of them because they do.
You've seen our cowbell like this. Like
use something, but I don't know what they call it.
The thing about our cowbell is this. They was playing a game in the early 50s. Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. Third quarter in the game. We're losing by 20. Cows storm the field. They use the cowbells to get the cows off the field. All right, we come back and win that game. Mississippi State adopts the cowbell as their instrument because of that one thing.
Everything you say sounds like you're making it up. That sounds. I know that's an amazing story, and it's so probably true.
Man, I don't doubt him no more.
It's probably true, but that story sounds made up. Like cows got on the field, and like it's probably true.
It's the 50s.
I don't disbelieve you, but like I'm just like.
And we're agriculture school.
Oh, okay.
Mississippi State used to be Mississippi A&M. Used to be Mississippi Ag and Culture. Oh, okay. Now that's it. So the cows ran on the field. We ran them off with the thing. I didn't.
Yeah. You weren't there.
If you were there, I'm like, well, damn, boy. You
can see me on that black and white picture. Look, turn around.
You're actually like a vampire.
Yeah, is that Fred? No,
yeah.
My cousin Augustus.
And on that note, just a reminder.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. Right now, new customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use a QR code to sign up, deposit 10, and choose between either. First bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000. If your qualifying bet loses, you receive a match refund in bonus bets. Or bet and get offer and place a bet of 5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders.
Must be 21 plus, physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and want help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You read that like AI kind of.
Yeah, I know it. I tried to.
It was good.
Hi, and salute. Mississippi State. High learning.
All right, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on today. Yes. A lot of stuff to talk about. Free agency is in full effect, right? Which is always exciting. But there's one element of free agency I want to talk about before we talk about the Commanders' free agency, and that is the running back carousel.
Yeah.
We got all these running backs kind of switching teams for about the same value. And, we've talked about running back value on the podcast before, and I thought this is a good opportunity to kind of put a cap on that. And I just want to get your guys' initial thoughts, running back value. Let's start with Santana.
Okay, my initial thought is, what's crazy to me is just understanding what's going on. When we talk about the different running backs going to different places. So is it that the team say that I can plug anybody in here and get the same production? Or is the team saying that, or the other teams are saying, well, I'd rather have this guy and get more production. I'm kind of lost.
That type.
You see what I'm saying?
I think it's more type.
It's almost like either or. It might be the team saying, look, we don't necessarily need a Henry. We don't necessarily need a Saquon.
Yeah.
Or it could be the other team saying, well, with a Henry, we can be that much more efficient. Or with a Saquon, we can be that much more lethal offensively. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get a grip on what is the whole perception of why these guys are basically playing musical chairs right now.
I think what the NFL really, they tried to devalue the running back, but they can't devalue the running back without devaluing the quarterback. Because a running back protects a quarterback in a way nobody else does. Like when you can run the ball, if your quarterback having a bad game, that running back protects him with his legs. Pass game, that running back protects him with pass coverage. The running back, the teams in the playoffs last year had running games. No matter if it's Pacheco, Lamar Jackson, and what they doing over there at the Ravens. I think when you look at these guys, let's say, for instance, Saquon, 3 down back, do it all. Is he a step over Swift? Yeah, they upgraded in that position. You look at a team like the Ravens, they felt like besides Gus Edwards, they had nobody that could run down and get him their physical presence. Here go Derrick Henry. When you got a team like this, like the Packers feel like they're there. Yeah. Like we need to go get a couple players to put us over the edge. So what do? They get Josh Jacobs and they go sign the safety. They saying we finna win more now. When I look at some of these teams, Tony Pollard, they're building some at the Titans. They need youth with their running back. And they also want something different than what they had. They used to own an SUV in Derrick Henry. Now they want a sports car that can play 3 downs and catch out the backfield. So I think some of this is about identity, while some of this is about I need to get younger, or I need to get somebody to get me in here that gets me over the edge to win a championship. Timing.
Yeah, I still think the running back is like relatively devalued. I think when you look at the free agent market, it's crazy. When you look at the edge rusher market, it's crazy. Like, look at, we signed, or potentially allegedly we signed an edge rusher for $33 million over 3 years. That's $11 million for a guy that was a kind of a rotational spot guy. And again, he's a good football player. I don't want to diminish that.
Yeah.
But here's a guy in Derrick Henry who was the NFL's leading rusher the past probably, he's been in his career at certain points, right? Always kind of close to that 2,000 yard mark when he's on, and he's signed for about $8 million. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like per year. So I just look at that value and I say the running back position is devalued, right? And I think the interesting one in this kind of collection here is Saquon Barkley, leaving the Giants, going to Philadelphia, because he is the closest thing, in my opinion, to the standard at the position. That's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
A guy that can beat you in the pass game, is a mismatch in the run game from an athletic standpoint. So that is the reason why that number makes sense to me. Now, the thing I want to ask you guys, though, is that doesn't seem to fit traditionally with the team building philosophy of the Philadelphia Eagles. Because the offensive line is so good, they've been able to put anybody back there. Like Swift had a great year last year. And he was on I think he was on like a 2-year, $8 million contract or something like that. Basically peanuts. And you go and you quadruple that salary number. Obviously for a good player, we like Saquon a lot on here. But is it worth the extra expenditure? Especially when you can seem to find like all the guys you just talked about are really good football players.
Well, I think when it comes to their situation, it was I'm not 100% sure, but it was rumored that Swift wanted out. For whatever reason it was.
Because he wasn't getting the ball down.
He didn't want to be there no more. So when you have a guy that that fits what you do, you're going to try to go get the next best guy that can do that, and the next best guy who can be Swift and be 10 times better than Swift, or I won't say that much better than Swift, but Saquon is like a times 5 to me when it comes to what he can do with the ball in the passing game and the run game. So
to me, it feels like
you spend a little more for him.
To me, it feels like the side effect of watching the 49ers build their team. Like I think McCaffrey, what he does for that offense, Saquon can do for this offense. He takes them over the top. Like right now, we went player for player, Philadelphia and the 49ers. Quarterback, I get a Philadelphia. Running back, I watch those two. I think they're equal. I go Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuels. I'd rather have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The only place San Francisco beats them at is George Kittle. Edges out there is Goddard. But I can see where they said we're not far from their blueprint. Can we get a home run hitter and somebody that could tote the game when the passing game ain't there? When it gets cold, somebody could tote the road.
But what I will say, another spot where they're missing that is just the guy who's calling the plays. How they conduct their offense. Their offense isn't, to me, nowhere near what it was 2 years ago.
Lost your coordinator, now here, head coach.
So they a little further than what they might think. You can get all the players in the world, but if you're not designing this thing around the way it's supposed to be ran efficiently, effectively, then you're not going to be in the same boat as San Fran. And that's, to me, I think a lot of people, you can look at players all you want. I've been on a team where we didn't have probably as much as those key names when it comes to the running back position. Might had a couple of guys on the outside, including myself, that was valuable like some of those guys. But, man, we've had Alfred Morris in our backfield and killed people. We've had Halu in our backfield, that offense, and killed people. Like, I've seen San Fran when Moister wasn't that much. We didn't know who the hell he was, and they went out there and, ran through people. So the way they run things and conduct things offensively, I can never compare nobody.
It evens the playing field.
Yeah, they can get the players and just make them that much more of a player by being in that offense.
But I think that's what I think maybe the point of this is, like, is Saquon going to be used effectively in that offense? Because if they use him the exact same way they use Swift, then it's money poorly spent. Bingo. Right? When you need to maximize that playmaking position.
I think they'll lean on him more than they.
But in his career, he's not like that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's an explosive playmaker. I'm not. No, don't get me wrong.
Healthy.
When healthy, he's an explosive playmaker. But Jacobs, for example, is a more of a bruising downhill guy that you can lean on. Right? Which I think is interesting that he goes up to Green Bay and he replaces A.J. Dillon and the other guy that was there. Right?
Aaron Jones.
Right? Like, that is a stylistic fit. But here, like, just stylistically, I'm not sure that it works. And so, to Tana's point, it's like the running back is so important in terms of having a vision for how to use the position. And I think that's what I come out of this saying, like, it's all kind of interchangeable, right? Gus Edward goes to Seattle, right? And then it's like, okay, who do we bring in as the big back? Henry. And it's like they're making about the same amount of money this year. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no cost.
And I didn't want to really step on you with this one, but just talking about interchangeable and the reason why I ask, because if you look at a guy in who the Bengals just lost,
Joe Mixon.
Mixon. What Mixon did for them, Zach Moss is not the same kind of running back.
No, he's not that level.
See what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing away from Zach Moss. I think he had a hell of a year last year, and I think he can only get better. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
But to me, he was more like the guy who backed up Mixon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
And so with now you have both of those guys. I'm not sure if he's still around because P. Ryan was here with us also.
Yeah.
Did P. Ryan, he was still on the team last year with them, right?
Yeah, P. Ryan was on the team with them.
So I'm not sure if P. Ryan's still there, but now you bring in the Zach Moss.
Yeah.
To me, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
So
but
you
you
want that
two guys to
slasher,
make one. Yeah,
you want that slasher, that guy who can be that, that style of play, who had that same style of play as a Mixon. Because to me, I think he was one of those guys that no one gave a lot of credit to, but he was on pace at one time running the ball like the kid that left Pittsburgh prematurely. What his name was?
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell and Mixon looking like brothers.
No. You're right.
But
you're right
he just lasted a little longer, stayed around a little longer, and now you missing that guy, and you bringing in a guy who's more of a bruiser who can get downhill with the ball that has similar style of play like the guy you have already as a second string running back.
Speaking of like using them right, like I could say this, I don't think we use Antonio Gibson right as his time here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hopefully with him going to New England, they would, because I felt like when we brought him in, we tried to make him a running back first, and I think we should have let him be a receiving back first and learn how to run the ball second. And I think that's what he'll get to do in New England.
Yeah, and obviously there's been a lot of reports. Nikki Javala, John Keim reporting that Austin Eckler is signing with the Commanders.
All right.
And obviously I think that's again another piece of the musical chairs. It's like Austin Eckler. A lot of people kind of saying, an older back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still catches the ball well, but nothing, explosive anymore. Like he's still a good football player.
I would say still a great receiving back.
Yes, but it's but not like the dynamic athlete that I think Gibson is. And it's just interesting that you kind of move one out, another guy comes in to kind of fill the role. And I do think there's a leadership element potentially there that they want to look for.
The difference in them is leadership and pass protection. The one thing Gibson Achilles heel was, you want him in on third down, but if he has to block, now he becomes Achilles heel to you. Where Eckler, a guy that squats 600 pounds, he'll stuff his face in there. And he's a good outlet valve for a young quarterback. Like everything I'm doing on this team now is in vision of a young quarterback. Like with my young quarterback, I need to have a third down back that can catch. But I also need my third down back to protect. And I also need him to actually bring some leadership, hold some people accountable, be an OG in the room. And I don't think Gibson could do that. I don't think he brings in, like when I say Eckler, even though he's not the player, it's a respect that comes with his name that I think he brings in that room. And as a defense, hey, they got Eckler. Hey, when he in the game, and we need to watch.
I think this also speaks to kind of like what the plan is. Because when you watch him in San Diego, LA now, right? One of the things that sticks out is like he's not like a great choice runner. He's like an outlet valve. He's good in pass protection. He's very solid, right?
Yeah.
So like, what is the vision for him and how they're going to use him? Because I honestly think B-Rob showed some stuff last year that made me think, maybe he's more dynamic in some of these areas. So it's just interesting how running backs are so interchangeable.
I still feel like B-Rob is running back one. I think they brought him in here to be running back one and a half.
But I think also if you look at what Kingsbury did when he was in Arizona, he had that Connor, he had the other guy who came in, and he had those guys as a almost like a thunder and lightning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I picture them using, knowing that, hey, we're not going to be able to just put everything on B-Rob, especially being young and knowing that you don't want to put that kind of load on him. You want to bring a guy in that's one, a veteran, leadership, two, that has done it at a high level for a long time. And you got to think about it. Last year was the first year that he kind of like wasn't himself, and that's because he had a bad ankle injury.
And that was from the first game. He had 100+ yards.
So you look at what he did the two previous years: 1,600 yards from scrimmage, 1,500 yards from scrimmage. I want that from a guy who just was off that mark last year. And knowing things was a little different from him injury wise. So I would take that any day, and knowing that we're not bringing back Gibson. So that's like, who else out there that fits what we're trying to do with that position and that third down, that third down running back position.
We need players.
Yeah.
Like, simple as this. We got a roster with a lot of holes in it and ain't got a lot of players. So now we're starting to accumulate players. And the one thing I love to have on my team is good players. The one thing I know about Eckler, he's a good football player, and I just want to start to stack, especially in rooms. I can say this. Do you feel better off this one move, better about the running back room than you did a week ago? Because I do.
Yeah.
I feel better
you have
about
two young guys, now you have a veteran leadership in that room presence.
Somebody
instead of having three young minds, you got one guy who can sit there and really kind of now, I guess you can say, bring these other guys along, teach them how to be pros. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have the ability, but this is something I'm gonna tell you.
I've been there and done that
a long way.
Yeah,
Yeah. So in addition to the running backs, obviously there was some big quarterback moves. Our guy, Kirk Cousins, man, just living his best life. Just living his best life, dude.
Man, listen,
180 million.
God has blessed this man in a way. Listen,
no big deal.
Hey, listen, he learned the art of dealing
He
here.
a preacher son too.
Yeah, he is. Like,
you see the difference of the dynamic of how you turn down and how you turn down.
what you waiting on, Jesus? Listen to me, Kurt. I think what he learned through us franchising him, he learned, one, how to bet on himself. Two, he got callous to being scared to bet on himself. And he said, after he got franchised here, I'd never take another dollar that ain't fully guaranteed in my life. All right? And it has worked. A 36-year-old quarterback coming off Achilles almost got $200 million. Desperate people will do desperate things in the Atlanta Falcons.
But I won't say that. The reason why, don't get me wrong, is I was wondering what was the whole hoopla about Kirk yesterday. I was laying on the couch and I'm just seeing plies going off. I'm like, why everybody mad that Kirk got picked up? And then I saw the number and I'm like, oh. But what made me say is because I'm like, okay,
100 guaranteed.
Well, you can't be mad.
Oh, I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not. No, none of us not mad because we love to see guys
get paid, man.
We love to see guys get their money. I used to come in the huddle third down. Let's get money. You know what I mean? That was like, that's time to go.
Yeah.
But you can't be mad because that's the number for that spot.
Yeah.
If I'm the starting quarterback, this is the number. The number says this is what I should be getting.
Yeah.
So if I'm capable, and then you got to Kirk's credit, you coming to a system where these guys know who you are. This coaching staff, like, if there's any guy here who can run this system that we run, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And if it's any guy that I know that's smart, that's intelligent, that's going to keep a level head, that has been through the fire. Man, this man been through the ringer. You hear me? We're talking about from the things he went through here in Washington, being behind RG3, then getting the starting position, then sit here not getting taken care of and had to go through that year of being a free agent, then leaving. Like, all you ever hear about Kirk Cousins ain't winning games. Okay, well, last time I heard, it's a team sport. Yeah. Last time I heard,
but the
defense
quarterbacks.
But I understand what you're saying. But the one thing I've seen everywhere he's been, the receivers putting up numbers. Yeah. So obviously he's doing something. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I just feel like it's more on the team and not on Kirk, and that's all you ever hear. But the thing that stands out to me the most, and this is what I was telling my homeboys yesterday through the text messages, and they was going crazy. I'm like, everybody has a point. Yes. Who would have thought Kirk Cousins would be getting this much money coming off of Achilles, being this old? But don't hate the player, hate the game.
No.
And I think right now the game states that as a starting quarterback in this league,
you supposed to get some money. Yes, you do, and you have spoken. The preacher, Santana Moss, has spoken. But boy, I rebuke you. I rebuke you in the name right now, because the one thing I know about Kirk, because you know what? Kirk and Dak, they're not so different, you and I. They are the same dude, because you know why? They are regular season heroes.
I'm going to stop you right now. Because in that division, though,
he going to win that division.
They're going to win the division.
No, Kirk going to win that division.
And so if I'm Atlanta, I'm like, this is a fair price to ensure we win the division with a team that is crazy talented.
He already got his grill put in, so you know he fit in good. He gonna put on his ropes. He gonna put on his rope, and he fits in good with the Atlanta culture. I can't wait to see it.
Do you know, as a quarterback, your record in the league as a quarterback, your playoff record?
I know what it is.
You got
1-4, something like that.
He got one more win.
I won 2 games. I won 2 games.
You got one more win. My fault. 36 years old, 1 playoff win, $200 million.
Matter of fact, I got 3. My bad, I forgot.
2
I'm selling myself short.
I'll say this too about our guy Kirk is last year before the Achilles injury.
He was on fire.
He was for sure a top 10 player at the position.
No, he was doing it.
So and then you look at the year before, probably top 12. And so he is, even though it's late in his career, ascending. And I think when you look at players with his skill set, look at who
Joe Flacco.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
We talking
guys
right now.
Guys who are older have have the ability to play longer.
He don't need to run to throw the ball.
He doesn't. And so I think when you look at Drake London, when you look at Kyle Pitts, they're going to be able to draft. They're going to be able to draft somebody at 8 to help him out offensively.
Who do you draft? The offensive line stop.
And your running back already said he going for 2 bills. He going for 2.
They didn't run him last year.
He going for 2,000.
But I'm saying, I just think it's a good situation. It's a talented team.
Yeah. Best team in the NFC South.
And so to me, if I'm Arthur Blank, I don't know who the GM is there anymore, but if I'm him, I'm like, this is the move because it puts us.
I became a fan.
Who else is ahead of them now in that division? Nobody. They win the division. They're assured a playoff spot, and who knows what happens when you're in the playoffs? You make a run, and I will say, Kirk, man, he can deal now. He can deal. He makes big time NFL throws. So I think if the situation's right, this opportunity could be there. It could be awesome for him. And I say, is he healthy? That's the thing.
I'm just going to say, I said the only thing that they have to worry about coming in, how far along is he from that injury?
I think they fixing Achilles like they fixing ACLs now.
Tightrope. Is it tightrope? What's the surgery now?
I'll get back to you. Something. They doing something.
Disgusting.
He's gonna be totally okay. But I need to drop a new movie like Wolf of Wall Street 2. It's Kirk Cousins.
Dude, like his biopic.
Yes,
just and him just in every meeting, just guaranteed money.
No, like when they say, "What you think about this deal, Kirk?" Hold on, let me call my age, Leonardo. Tell them all guaranteed.
Hey man, boy.
So obviously, we're happy for you, Kirk.
Get a dollar.
Go get that money. That's exactly right.
Congratulations, brother.
So the other thing, Russell Wilson, other end of the spectrum, man. $1.2 million.
One guy got 200. The other guy got 1.2.
So, but I love this for the Steelers because
I love it for him
and
too.
I love it for Russell too. Yeah. And also I love it for Russell because he's still getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still getting 40 from the Denver Broncos. You talking about the Broncos pay him $85 million to leave? Man, that's just like your mama say, you know what? Get out of my house and take this 100 with you.
Russ basically gonna be sitting in Pittsburgh, whether he's the starter or not, which I believe that he's coming there to start. But if they still find something to sit him down for, man, he gonna be sitting there. Man, they paying me 30. I'm gonna just use this right here. This is pocket change for them. I'm gonna use this 1.2. Whatever they give me.
To the Children's Hospital.
Hey, man, you getting $38 million from somebody else to do nothing, to not play for them.
Yeah,
it almost not.
How wild is that?
It almost shows you how it feels to be a head coach that get fired. I mean, it ain't gonna be $38 million, but it's some of them coaches. What the guy named from Texas A&M? Yeah, there you go.
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher got 70-something million, right?
$70 million to go home.
Yeah, so
get off my land.
It just shows you where we at now with this sport. You know, with our
money to waste.
Like it's money out there, man. It's really monopoly. It's really to the point to where, man, look. If this piece ain't helping me, I'm gonna get rid of it. Brother, I don't care how much I owe you. You know what? Yeah, I got you. Put them on our thing. You know, we'll be paying them, but I don't need you. I'm gonna move on. So that's what it shows me, and I just feel when somebody get humbled the way I feel like Russ has been humbled. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong. Like I feel like he's always been a guy that's understanding it, and he shot his shot in Denver. He came in there and said, "Hold on, let's ride. Let me not even that part of it. Let me see if I can get some of the things that I've seen other quarterbacks at this tier that I'm on would receive without saying. Let me put that on my list, my checklist." But he got ridiculed for it. And I think only because he wasn't successful. Mm-hmm. If he came in there and they'd have played well, they would have said nothing about him asking for his own office. Yep. They would have said nothing about him asking for other treatment. It's not like he didn't take those guys elsewhere and train with them. Yes, he did everything that most quarterbacks do when they come to a team or if they're on their other team. But they ridicule him about everything because of them not being successful. So I take it that he taking a lot of the blame outside of what Hackett deserves. Yeah. Because he was still there. And he played much better last year. So I'm happy for him, man. I think he got humbled. Everybody don't like it, but when you get humbled, now you got nothing but up from there to me.
I can see him right now packing his car up in Denver. Look back, tell Sierra, grab the kids, let's ride.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Hey, listen, I think he gonna bounce back. George Pickens, their run game gonna do a great job of hiding him in that defense.
Yeah.
They went to the playoff with that team with no quarterback last year.
You got to think too, man. I think when you get around coaching staffs like the Pittsburgh Steelers,
like Tomlin,
it reminds me of where he come from in Seattle.
Yeah.
When you have a foundation there that these coaches know how to coach the game.
Yeah.
Like that's some of the things that people take for granted. Like I've been on teams where you be like, it's a no wonder why we're not successful. Like, look who we got leading us. You know what I mean? It starts from up. And people think it starts from, just having players. No, we've seen that. We've done that too many times here.
Yeah.
Getting the guys, but not having the people to coach these guys. It's all about that coaching staff. And I think he's going to an organization that, one, knows how to win, then a staff that, two, at the end of the day, they don't get the best out of their
First
players.
of all, they want him.
Yeah.
I don't think Sean Payton ever wanted Russ.
Yeah.
Like, as a player, just to be wanted, I can get comfortable and play some football.
Go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder, we're brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. Right now, new customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use a QR code to sign up, deposit 10, and choose between either. First bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000. If your qualifying bet loses, you receive a match refund in bonus bets. Or bet and get offer and place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders.
Must be 21 and older, physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and need help, call Fred.
I need help.
Gambler.
That's pretty good. Both of you guys crushed that today.
Yeah, I need help.
All right, so now it's the free agent frenzy.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a lot of, what do we got?
Speaking, I had to bring it up. Someone
got
just,
his phone. It's
bro,
a picture
I'm
of
literally
Kirk on his
picking up
phone.
my phone. That's the first thing someone says to me, talking about Kirk. And I'm like, we literally talking about that right now. That's crazy, man.
Kirk, we love you.
So allegedly, we've made some signings.
Allegedly.
And as the, we can't confirm these, but
I understand.
Adam Scheffner,
I understand.
Joe Keim,
Yep.
John Keim. I said Joe. John Keim, Nikki Javal have all reported these
Some
signings.
respect on Keim,
and so
man.
let's talk about some of these players and how you guys are feeling about this, right?
Yeah.
And where do you think the direction is going for the team, and how optimistic are you?
I am very, very optimistic. I love these picks because we needed to fill roster spots, and we need to fill them with quality. See, sometimes it ain't about the quantity; it's the quality. No, we got the best center that was in free agents. Nobody will say it's a competition.
Tyler Biadasz.
Yeah, be honest. Now think about this. Not only did we get the best center, we weakened the Cowboys. We took their center. All right, starter. You putting him beside Sam Cosmi. All right, legit Pro Bowler to me. Now on the other side, you got Nick Allegretti. Am I saying that right?
Allegretti.
Allegretti.
Very Italian.
I'm talking about starter, Super Bowl, everything.
Yeah.
Now, I'm only left on this offensive line to worry about the two tackles positions. I solidified a room. I solidified a room because the one thing we could not have is a young quarterback and a young center.
Yeah.
That would not have went well. I need somebody to make these calls. Tyler gonna make these calls. I think we win there. Frank Luvo.
Leah Luvo.
They gonna love him.
Luvu.
They gonna love him. Now, listen, I watched some stuff on this boy swaps paint.
He does.
He's mean. He's smart.
He's
he can
aggressive.
blitz, and one of the best blitzing middle linebackers in the game. From what I hear in Carolina, he was the heart and soul of this team. When I start to hear stuff like that, I know you can't go nowhere without your heart. So he bringing that heart and that soul right in this building. All right, starter. All right, so another starter right there. And then Zach Ertz. We knew we were going to end up with a young tight end.
Yeah.
I need an older tight end to teach this guy how to be a pro.
You think they're going to draft somebody or one of the young guys we already have?
We got possibility.
Either or.
Yeah. But we got somebody in here to fill in that gap. Armstrong, he go starter. He will be a starter on this team. And then you bring in a backup like Colin Farrell. He literally was number 4 pick of his draft. Hasn't really panned out, got where he want to be. But sometimes being in a new place, new chance, gives you a new chance to grow up as a player. So I think everybody that they brought in, even Matt Mantis, the kicker, we brought in
You
people.
got a lot of file on the kicker? You watched a lot of kicks?
Nah, I'm saying I know about this with him.
Probably need to look at some kickers after what he did last time.
I'm just saying he was a kicker in Denver. And you know how it is in Denver. It's one of the easiest places to kick because of the.
I think he was 30 for 37 last year.
37, and he was 35 for 35 field goals.
Kicker,
30 for 35 on extra points, so he don't miss extra points.
When you sign a kicker, I hate to break it, I'm not watching kicker.
Well, hey, listen, I am, because we don't need a kicker till we need a kicker. Then we about to go to the Super Bowl, and here go the kicker up the Mr. Kick. Now you that damn McManus. Like then, no. I like to look at it right now. So we got a starting kicker. We kind of solidified the offensive line. I got me a middle linebacker. We've been talking about linebackers since it started, and I got some people that fill in gaps. So I think we won.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I don't think you need me to break it down again. Fred did such a great job. I mean, but honestly, I mean, it was a great job. I just think when you look at anytime you're trying to, have structure in anything you do in life, you know what I mean? It's all about the base, the foundation. And I think this is a core of players that you can really, structure your team off of. Whether these guys end up being starters or being great pickups and they go out there or whatever it may be, you need bodies. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So more than anything, folks, I've been loving everything about this offseason ever since we knew we was getting a new coaching staff, just knowing that it might not be to your liking. And sometimes it's best. I hate when I hear all these fans ready to have a parade. You know what I mean? I hate when I hear the notion of, hey, we going to be 13-4 this year. Like, I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah. I like what I'm hearing because there's people on the fence. There's people that's riding with us. People just don't know. And I think it's best to not know and let these guys go out there and show us what they're going to do, show us how to build a team. One of the key things that Adam Peters talked about when he first came in, he said, we're not trying to build to win tomorrow. Yeah. For the long haul. We want to win for decades. We want to win for years and years to come. So this is how you start. This is what you go get. The fundamental pieces to your team, the structure, what you need more. What we talk about year in and year out, week in and week out throughout the season. The trenches. Yeah. How can Santana Moss get off in the offense if you're not protecting my quarterback? Fat boy. How can we protect the quarterback to even get off to, get his guys off if you're not protecting him? Same way on defensive side. When we lost our 2 edge rushers, we saw how little we were, how small we were. We were like, oh man, we thought those 2 guys inside was everything. They are. But without those guys on the outside, you need help. So. And not to say these guys, not to say Armstrong going to come in and be that kind of a player. You ain't saying nothing. You're just speaking in generalities. It's getting bodies, fundamental pieces that can help you win. And like we know from just watching what Quinn has done defensively, when you get your guys you want, because obviously these guys are handpicking these guys saying, guess what, he can play in my defense. Yeah. Guess what, he could be a part of what I do. He already played in my defense. He knows what these guys can do from watching film. They're not just picking up guys because they on the market. No, we watched enough film on them. We understand that they are valuable pieces, and that could be an asset to us. Now you get them in your building, and then you coach them up how to play in your scheme. You coach them up how to win, how to be successful in the way you do things. So I love it, and I think we're addressing everywhere before we even started really spending some money. You see what I'm saying? Like we spent some money, but we ain't spent no money. We ain't spend no money. You know what I mean? So I love everything about that, and I think that just shows you. And like I say, this is premature. So I'm not ever going to sit out there and jump the gun. I don't like jumping the gun. But for right now, what I'm looking at is have me with the notion like, let me sit back and watch very closely of what true, real organizations do when they have that GM in place to go out there and say, this is what we need, this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to slowly pick the litter. You know what I mean? Find the guys that's available and build what we're trying to build. Yeah, that's 100% right. And I think, when I was in San Fran in 2017, they were part of a rebuild, and Adam was part of that rebuild, and they handled it very similar to this, right? So, like, if you look at the Washington Commanders, these guys that we've allegedly signed, Dorrance Armstrong, just based on contract structure, seems to be a guy that went around long-term, right? Tyler Biadasz, Frank Louvu, right? All those guys seem to be How you pronounce that name again? Biadasz?
Biadasz, yeah.
I was killing it.
So those 3 guys are kind of like long-term, seemingly based on contract value, kind of long-term solutions here. The other guys are on, like, 1-year deals, essentially, right? Even Austin Eckler is on essentially what amounts to a 1-year deal. But I think what you're getting is guys that, like Zach Ertz is a great example, a guy that's been around, done it. He understands professionalism. He can help mentor a young room. And even if he's not great at like mentoring or coaching the way some of these veterans are, you have a standard of performance and a standard of professionalism that's in the building, right? Same thing with Austin Eckler. And I think getting guys like this in the building is extremely important. So again, like they have some pieces here that I think are long-term, some guys that are shorter-term solutions. But like you were saying, Fred, at least it allows you to kind of tick boxes and check boxes as we progress to kind of finalizing this roster. So it's really exciting, and I love the style. This is more general. I love the style of guy they got. They got it, like when you watch Dorrance Armstrong, that dude finishes plays, man. Yeah. When you watch Frank Louvu, dude finishes plays. Tyler Biotish finishes. Nick Algeretti finishes plays, right? Those guys, and Zach Ertz, man, he is, he might be a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm going to say, it's Zach Ertz. Enough said.
So I think just getting, again, remember they talked about the type of guy they wanted in here? I feel like there wasn't one time where I was watching film last night where I was like, this guy isn't that. They're all, and I think that is something that's so refreshing. The vision, they say something, the vision coincides with it. And again, these guys got to come out and play. You never know how it's going to go. But as of today, based on what they did last year, you feel very, very good about that.
This team is still so incomplete. Like we're filling in gaps. Filling in gaps.
Guys, I want to let you know about something exciting that we're doing. We're doing free agency Fridays.
Oh, all right.
You guys don't know about this. You're going to be promoting it soon. We're doing free agency Fridays. As soon as a free agent comes in, puts pen to paper, which is the room right next to where we are now. They're walking into the studio. They're sitting down with Brian Colbert. They're getting an interview. Right away. It's going to be only Commanders talk. Like, we don't care about
BC.
Only that. And fans get to ask some questions.
Nice.
So the fans that are listening to this on YouTube or on Spotify, put a question in for any free agent signing we have. We'll cipher through them, and we will give them those questions. You'll get your question answered by our free agents that come in.
That's dope. Good way for them to get to know the fan base and the fan base to get to know them. That's the hardest thing about free agency is going to another place.
Every Friday. Every Friday we'll drop a free agency Friday.
That's going to be awesome. Free agency frenzy. So, but the other thing I wanted to say is I also like that they have covered up a lot of ills, so you don't have to draft anybody. You now can just draft best player available.
Bingo.
And that is something that
I'm glad you put that out there because that's what a lot of people don't look at it. Like, I'm listening to radio talk this morning. They were calling in. One dude called in. That dude told JP, and I love JP. B. Mitch and JP show is one of my favorite shows.
I love it.
And JP does such a great job. And I think it was Landfill that said this had to be the all-time worst caller ever. The dude was like, JP, stop being a drama queen. You always hyping up everybody we get. So they was like, hold on, why are you mad at me? I didn't pick the guys. He was just talking. He was going on and on. And the dude he sounded like he was drinking.
Made no sense.
He sounded like he was drinking or something like that. But it was just funny to hear people take on certain moves. You know what I'm saying? And
nothing is going to make them all happy.
He was just talking about Mariota sucked and Sam Howell sucked. And you can tell a guy who don't watch football.
He don't know football.
But at the same time, it was just comical because it was the way they received the information from him. Like, okay, all right, buddy, we gonna be going with you. And it was just like, man, like folks really be riled up about stuff and
overreact.
Don't have no context in what's going on.
No, barbershop music is what I call it.
All right, let's get to our next segment, which is Up or Down, and that's presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Stop searching, go Northwest. Check out nwfcu.org/Washington to see how easy it is to join and how Northwest can help make your money work for you. Stop by a branch and visit nwfcu.org/Washington today. Sorry, this camera was in the way for that.
Don't worry about it.
So anyway, let's talk about this. After free agency, the free agency frenzy, which is still going on. We're probably going to sign some more people.
Yeah, of course we are.
Let's talk about this. In the draft, Fred, and I know you've got strong opinions. Sam, I'm kind of curious to hear what you got to say about it because you don't talk.
Talk to me.
You don't talk. You don't talk as much as Fred about this. Don't give your opinion so freely. Okay. So after free agency, should we trade up or trade down? Let's make a case for both.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about this in more depth, Fred, on Ticket to the Draft.
All right.
We're doing a mock draft where we trade up. We did a mock draft recently.
A mockumentary.
Yeah. The last mock draft we did, we traded down. So make sure you check those out.
Yeah.
Ticket to the Draft.
Yeah.
But Fred, what do we got? What do you think? Hey, do you guys want to take sides? Do you want to be?
No. Both of us going to give both of them. All right?
Okay.
All right. So check this out.
All right.
If I trade up, it's only to bring the sweet Princess Zamunda home. Caleb Williams, you know how I feel about this. I believe if you think it's one of those guys in the draft, go get him. Yeah. If that's how you feel about him, if he could change your franchise for the next 15 years, go get him. It ain't never what you call too much.
What you giving for that though?
We had to.
What you willing to give for? That's what I meant.
I'm willing to give Chicago because we got to deal with it. No, they got the first pick, we got the second. So I shouldn't have to give you too much. Especially not what he's talking about.
We giving you our pick and a player.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you this number 2. I'm gonna give you my second round pick, the first pick in the second round.
Okay. So we're exchanging picks. You get the second round pick, right?
And you get this.
So you get 2 picks from us.
Yeah, you're gonna get my second. I'm gonna get your first.
Okay.
All right. Father, the second pick in the draft.
Second pick in the draft.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna trade those.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you my first pick in the second round.
Okay. Because we got 2 of those. That's why.
And I will give
36.
I will give you a player. Or I will give you next year's 2.
Ooh.
Next year's 2.
Second round.
So 2 twos.
No way they bite on that.
No.
And a player. 2 twos.
Who's the player? Who's the player?
Just throwing this out there. John Allen. I gotta have somebody worth something that somebody else wants.
That's okay. Just to be clear, that's not happening.
No.
This is hypothetical.
This is hypothetically.
Everyone calm down.
If I give you an extra second round pick and a former first rounder that's still at the peak of his game, just to move up one spot, I think you'll do that, especially if you plan on keeping Justin Fields.
Okay. All right. So I still don't know if that would be enough because what I think it would take is 3 firsts.
To move one spot.
That's all I'm saying. I'm always saying. So I think it would take 3 firsts and maybe a second. So that's how draft pricing goes. And so is that fair?
I see if we was at the 7th pick. We're talking about one spot.
But why would we? It's Fred. This is what I was having this conversation.
That's why I don't wreck my brain with all this.
Right, hold on. I want you guys to table this because we're going to do this on the Ticket to the Draft podcast. Yeah. We're going to have this exact debate with the 2 of you. Okay. Yeah. So let's save it for that. Okay. If you want to hear them argue about the cost of the number 1 pick, be on Ticket to the Draft podcast.
On Ticket to the Draft podcast. Okay. So whatever the price is to trade up,
I'm willing to pay
for Caleb.
Now, if I trade down, that's the other option here.
Yeah, trade down.
Trade down. If I trade down, I'm only doing it because I know I'm trading for Justin Fields. If I trade down, because now I'm finna try to stock players.
I like that.
All right? Because now, if I trade down to, let's say, 10, and believe me, what you just said they're going to have to do for 1, you got to do similar for 2.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna get.
So now you're finna give me your next year's first. Yeah. You're gonna give me this year's first. You're probably finna give me your second round this year and your second round next year.
And probably one more. And honestly, probably one. It's if you're moving up. Let's say like Atlanta doesn't need this anymore, but hypothetically, if Atlanta was moving up from 8, the number being thrown around was 3 firsts and 3 seconds. Right. So and they've taken care of their quarterbacks. Yeah. So the next team is like.
All right. So what Denver?
Denver at 14.
At 14.
God.
Tries to move up. Now I got my quarterback, so I ain't got to go quarterback hunting. Now I can get one of the better tackles in this draft. I can leave here with the Brock Bowers. I can leave here with players filling gaps. That's all I'm saying.
So
I like the whole trading down because I see that can get done more than moving up. I never had a notion to move up unless I just knew it was clear cut. We needed that one position. We needed that one guy. Yeah. Which I would have hoped that guy would just fell into our lap. But with all that being said, I like where we at, the way things hypothetically might pan out. Yeah. It might be because we have our guy or we have the guy already that we're gonna get. You know, he's gonna land right there for us to go ahead and get him. So we probably ain't gonna make those moves.
Love that. Couldn't have said it better myself. For a more in-depth conversation about this topic specifically, make sure you check out Ticket to the Draft. And that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Peace. We are brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. That's why we offer an in-game experience which covers over 78 sports and over 780,000 live streams to 90 million customers worldwide. Our online betting brand is powered by a world-class proprietary product and over 7,000 employees across the globe. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, the official sporting betting partner of your Washington Commanders. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Virginia. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.